Are you also moved by the idea of feminism? If not always, but at least for once, you must have thought about the oppression of women and the misogynist approach of many. It is human tendency to accept anything vocal as the truth and ignore the silent opinion. Thus, you might not believe that female privilege is a real thing. Hi and welcome to TFI English, the national socio-political analysis arm of the TFI Media Group. I'm your host Tanya, and in this video, we'll talk about the privileges women enjoy all the time in Indian society while ranting about male privilege. Let's begin. Be it a seat in a metro or punishments by the judicial system, the women in India have been enjoying the female privilege. Yes, that's true. But what can be seen as a dissatisfactory move is when the women who have committed a crime as similar as men could have committed enjoy judicial favoritism. It is believed that women are oppressed, but if it is so, why do they live more? No doubt that in some instances male privilege exists, but this doesn't rule out the existence of female privileges. In short, male privilege has been identified by the world, but female privilege is something that people do not even talk about. If you do not believe these claims, just look at the Ishrat Jahan case. The case depicts that the Delhi riot accused Ishrat has been given bail only because of the female privilege. Let me tell you how. Undoubtedly, just like every other Homo sapien, women and girls are subjected to physical, sexual, and psychological abuses. These kinds of abuses are mainly suffered by women of classes lower in the economic and social hierarchy. But the recognition of this kind of oppression and its related protective norms are mainly used to provide an advantage to elite class women accused of various forms of criminal behaviors. Yet, this is exactly what has been done. A Delhi Sessions Court has granted bail to Ishrat Jahan in an Unlawful Activities Prevention Act case. Jahan, a former Congress councillor, was sentenced to jail over allegations of her connection with the riots in northeast Delhi. Bar and bench reported that the bail was granted by Additional Sessions Judge Amitabh Rawat of the Karkarduma Court. It is pertinent to note that the FIR filed against Jahan contains charges not only under the UAPA but also the Indian Penal Code, the Arms Act, and the Prevention of Damage to Public Property Act. Wait, what? You thought that only Ishrat Jahan is the one to get benefited from female privilege? No, there are many on the list. A court had granted bail to Safura Zargar, whose imprisonment on charges of instigating riots had triggered global outrage. You know why? Because she was pregnant. Earlier, as reported by TFI, the Bombay High Court went back and forth to decide on the death sentences awarded to Renuka Shinde and Seema Gavet. It had commuted the decision of death sentence to life imprisonment. The two sisters, Renuka alias Kiran Shinde and Seema alias Devki Gavet, along with their mother Anjanabai, were tried by the Additional Sessions Judge in Kolhapur in 1997 for kidnapping 13 children, attempting to kidnap another, and murdering 9 of the 13 children between June 1990 and October 1996. In another instance, the Rajasthan High Court had acquitted a woman named Kumari Chandra who was accused of pushing 3 children to death. She was released on the ground that she was under duress due to premenstrual stress syndrome. Interestingly, the first female hanging house was built in Mathura jail almost 150 years ago, but no convict has been hanged there since independence. On the contrary, a man had to spend 20 years in jail under false rape charges. The alleged incident of rape, which has now been found to never have occurred, was reported in the year 2000. For the past 20 years, the accused man Vishnu was in jail. The acquittal came after the Allahabad High Court found that the trial court had materially erred while convicting him. The fundamental idea behind equality of law is that no one will be discriminated based on their immutable characteristics. Simply put, the legal system is supposed to punish a criminal without even looking at their religion, race, caste, and gender. But over the period, the legal system has developed a special soft corner for elite women criminals. We do not deny that women are not the victim, but not every woman is equally good. Setting up a system where a particular class of a particular gender will not be punished reeks of absolute elite female privilege. It's time when we should start differentiating between actual female victims and freeloaders of female victimization. A criminal charged under UAPA can be a threat to national security and should not be granted bail only based on gender.